thank you, Adrian, for joining me. I really appreciate that. I have my Peloton shirt on. I don't know if everyone can see.
That's the one I wear that one a lot in class.
I thank you. You have helped keep me fit and buff. I've taken a lot of your classes over the last several years. So
I
thank you.
appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, I want to join you though to talk to you about dairy. That's what I do and what our readers are interested in. So first, I wanted to get into the Parm Bar. Can you tell me what that is? I got a nice package yesterday, but what is that
hmm
all about?
I hope you enjoyed it by having taste. So the Parm Bar is just a limited edition, convenient, high quality source of protein that we are celebrating for National Cheese Day, and so it's going to be limited to um, just celebration, and also it's the cool thing about Parm Bar is like I think it's kind of getting rid of the stigma that you can get protein from cheese, right? Good cheese obviously is important, and we're talking about 9 grams of protein. It's really easy and simple to bring with you everywhere. And I think just like as a person who works in wellness, we're always talking about like nutrition, right? It's important to feed your tissues, your muscles, your body. And protein is one of those things that you need to be actually consuming during the day. And I don't know about you, but when I work out, every time after I'm done, I'm like, okay, what's the protein that I'm going to put into my body? And it's great that you actually do this right after you work out or before workout. But a lot of times it's maybe a complex protein, something that you have to cook, not something that you can kind of just get easily and readily available. And I love that it's just a bar. You eat it, you enjoy it, and you're done.
Yeah, and I love how dairy can, especially cheese. I think I wanted to ask you about that, how you can use cheese for recovery. I mean, because a lot of times that's not discussed, in our magazine,
hmm
and also how you fit other forms of dairy. I'm really interested in hearing about your dairy routine, or what you do with all the other products that we provide.
So the interesting thing is I'm consuming some form of dairy all day, right? And for breakfast, if I'm doing eggs, maybe scrambled, I usually do it hot, melt it over the eggs. So I'll do cheese and eggs. I like to do cottage cheese a lot of times with sort of fruits. I do a Greek yogurt with granola, honey, and some fruits. I like to put cheese on my salad, so I like to have greens midday, like a heavy amount of them. And then I'm a pasta person because I'm constantly consuming carbs to provide me with energy because pretty much all I do is work out all day. And so cheese is a source of protein in every single piece of my day, right? And I think I've said this before, but there's a stigma around cheese and it not being a good protein source. Cheese is a great protein source. The kind of cheese that you're eating is also important. And so I think people would be surprised that you can consume something like this, get the amount of or a part of the daily protein that you need, and kind of go about your day. But it is fuel, right? You do need protein as a source for recovery, tissue repair, um, and muscle building. And you said this before, right? You work out with me a lot. People don't think about the nutrition and recovery aspect so much. They think the workout done. No, there's so much that goes into this. Beginning, middle, end, how you fuel, how you work out, how you recover. These are all important.
So it's not just your 20-minute chest and back workout that I have to do, right? You got to do
Nope.
you got to do a
And you
lot
hear
more than
this,
that.
you hear this a lot when I'm talking about this stuff in class. I try to say recovery, recovery, recovery. What you put into your body is important. If you want to move well, you have to feed it. If you want to move well, you have to rest it. If you want to move well, you have to make sure you're doing recovery, stretching, foam rolling. So
Yeah, yeah, and it's so interesting you're talking about cheese because I think a lot of people out there, a lot of consumers think of a lot about when they think of health and wellness, they're thinking about two categories that are just doing gangbusters in dairy, and that's yogurt and cottage cheese. So
sure,
it's really interesting, and those are fantastic things.
they
Uh,
are.
so
I have them every day, but
you
there's
have them too.
also, yeah, but there's also, I think, I'm a cheese lover, right? I've been to Italy quite a few times, and I always say I'm going on a cheese tour when I go there. But there's so many types, and it's just if you can enjoy them, they're a really good source.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And before we let you go, I want to ask. First, I got to ask you about, a little about
Yeah.
your fitness routine. I
hmm
mean, are there any, any tips, any free tips you could provide for our readers about, what your thoughts are, your fitness philosophies, building,
Sure.
habits, finding joy in fitness. That's another thing I think is important.
Well, and so as we travel down this road called life, and I'm sure you've experienced, what you enjoy changes over time, right? The things that I loved years ago, maybe I don't love them so more, and I've gravitated to something else. I always say it's important to move with how you feel in that moment. And so there's not one way to work out. Some people are like, I love strength and that's all I do. I love cycling. That's all I do. I love running. That's all I do. Um, we're not built to just do one thing. Yeah, you're going to find the plateau pretty quickly. And so I try to incorporate pieces of a lot, whether it's cycling, rowing, running, strength training, yoga, Pilates, whatever I have access to. And the Peloton app is great because you kind of have abundance. But, the thing that makes you happy is the thing that you should be doing for movement, not the thing that someone I suggested that you do because that should work for you. You should experiment, right? We're kids on the playground. You should always be playing. And that's how you find a thing that you love. Because I could say, hey, try this thing. You're like, Adrian, I hated that. I could say, try something else. And you're like, wow, I really love that. You're an individual. Do the thing that's easy and makes you happy. Not everything needs to be strenuous or stressful. And I think there's just multiple ways to move and find happiness for everyone.
No doubt, no doubt. And I can attest you're a fantastic Peloton fitness instructor. And I
Thank
should
you.
I should also add you're the second Peloton fitness instructor I've been able to converse with in the last few months because we had Jess King at a Danone event, so which is
Oh,
really
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah.
So that's
I love
fantastic.
that.
Uh, Before I let you go, though, I do want to ask you lastly about, can you talk about any additional projects? I mean, I think of you as the
Sure.
Peloton instructor, and I know that, probably, I'm sure a lot of people think of you that way. So, yeah, I think you have a bunch of other things, though, like great things with Adrian. So, can you just talk
Correct.
about that?
So I created great things. It's inspired by my grandmother because it was a piece of advice she used to tell us as grandkids. Great things take time, and so great things was this idea where I could go out into the community and meet people who were inspiring and could share their stories that were very different from mine. I love highlighting people in community. I think we're all put in this earth to kind of be of service, and what I was missing was this ability to interact with someone who's completely different than I am or has lived a completely different life than I have and understand the ins and outs of how they got there, how they arrived, how they became successful, how they pivoted when things got tough. There's so much that we can learn from each other, even if we're not doing the same thing. And I do think it's definitely bridged this gap and helped me find inspiration for myself. So selfishly, it definitely is serving me. But I've also realized that a lot of people in my community, right, don't do what I do. And they want to hear about various walks of life because sometimes I'm their exposure to that. And so if I can give people good influence, provide them information, help them hear stories that are like theirs or not like theirs, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us. It's really important to talk about. I mean, I've been calling this the platinum era of dairy, for all the great things, and I think we don't even discuss cheese much when we're talking about that. So I appreciate you talking about the Palm Bar. Sorry, I should say. Um,
The accent came out.
I think I almost said palm. I'm like,
Palm,
it's
palm.
not
It's
palm.
very New Yorker.
It's
That's very
palm.
New Yorker.
Yeah, I got the New York thing going. But I appreciate you. You providing this all information. You'll see me, I'm sure, at your one of your next Peloton classes.
I love
So
it.
I
What's your
appreciate it.
leaderboard name?
I am Boomer Forever with the number four.
Boomer. Boomer forever. Okay, I'll remember that. I'm gonna write that down.
Okay. But but thank you so much again. I appreciate it. And yeah, it was wonderful chatting with you. And the best of luck with all these projects that you have going on.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Really nice to meet you, Brian.